Hi guys. So we've used Kleki a little bit in class before, uh, but I'm going to go over a few of the features so that way you have them on hand. The one thing I'll note is I will mostly be using a stylus for this because I'm currently pulling it up on my tablet, but you can use the touch screen on your Chromebook or the touch screen on anything, or even the mouse in order to draw different things. For instance, if I use the touch screen feature here, I am able to do a pretty good job just for the sake of what I do. I'm going to end up using my pencil or my stylus because that is what I have and it lets me do a couple things with it. Oh yeah, no, that's actually cool. Anyway, so let me get a new page really quick so that way we can get started. So the first thing to take note of is it will always start you on the paintbrush tool. When you have the paintbrush tool, you are able to choose your color by messing around on the little rainbow thing here, and you can change what color it is down here. Let's see. Right below that, you'll have these different options, and these will change what kind of brush you're using. So the first one will always be like the pen. So you can decide what you want to draw. You can change the size. You can change how opaque it is. Opaque is the opposite of transparent. So if something is opaque, that means it's solid and see-through. If it is less opaque, it is closer to transparent. Doesn't help that I'm kind of heavy-handed with it. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot more transparent than it was with the other one. Scatter basically makes polka dots. So like, yeah, there we go. You can also change the, just clearing that, brush head. So let's say I don't like this full that, maybe I want something a little bit rougher that looks more like a pen, or maybe I want it to be a sideways one, or maybe I want a square brush head. Uh, Really quick. So up at the very top, so if you follow all the way up that way, at the very right-hand side, there are those two arrow buttons. If you click on them, it will help you remove things. Additionally, if you don't want to click on the arrow buttons on your computer, you just need to press these two buttons. You press Control, it'll look like CTRL, and you're also going to press the letter Z. So Control Z will get rid of it. It might be this way with the touch screen, but I also know that if you tap the touch screen with two fingers, it will undo something. That's what it does, at least on the tablet. So that's at least one of the things. So I'm going to go back up to the very top where that brush is, and I'm going to click it, and it's going to give me a few other options. So I have a paint bucket, do that. I have a gradient. The gradient will drag a color across to almost make an ombre-like effect. Yeah, there we go. You can also change like the direction that the gradients go, depending on what you click on. There's a text feature. So you just click wherever you want the text to be, then you start typing in whatever it is you want. Classic. Now over here is where at the very bottom is where you can change some of this. So if you want to change the color of your text, you can choose between here. There are a few different options. I think on the Chromebook, it lets you have a few other options to change the text color to. I'm just kind of limited at the tablet. The one right below it lets it have an outline, and you can choose how much of an outline you want your text to have. Right below that, it lets you choose the size of the, oop, again, the struggles of being on a tablet. It lets you choose the size. Okay, it chose that. Who knows why? Okay, yeah, there's better. My name, Jeff. Uh, you can choose what the text is, how it's aligned. You can make it italicized, you can make it bold. That's getting really blurry. Okay, so another element is if you go here and you are able to select something. So let's say I'm going to, don't know why that's up already, but let's say I'm going to select this and I want to erase it. I'm going to select it, then at the very bottom, press erase, and now that is gone from the page. Now that is easier to do whenever you have layers, which I will talk about. There's also a normal eraser. This is also a fill button. So whatever color you have chosen, like all the way back over this way, the fill button will fill it up. Transform will let you flip things around. You can clone it. Uh, and the thing that you cloned, you're able to move around. Again, you can flip it around whichever way. You can also move it to layers, but that's not what we have right now. So I've been mentioning it. I might as well talk about layers. Well, I will actually. So back over this way, I didn't mention it beforehand. There is a bunch of different tools at the very start that I would just kind of play around with. They all do different things. More importantly, the actual eraser is at the very end of this, and you can also change the size of that. Anyway, so I'm going to start a new one just so we have a fresh slate to talk about what layers are. So with layers, you're going to want to imagine it that whenever you are drawing, this is essentially a piece of paper. So layer one is the piece of paper that you are drawing on. It is the background. If I get rid of it, it gives you this checkerboard background. This is important because if you are making a picture transparent, this is what the background would need to look like. But we're not going to do that because right now we're just talking about different layers. So if I want to draw on something, but I want to erase it without erasing the background, because if I do this, right now it doesn't do too much because I think the layer is locked, but let's just make a new layer, one that I can adjust to whatever way I want. So I'm going to go back here. And I am going to maybe be a smart idea to be on pen. I'm going to start drawing whatever it is that I want to draw. So I don't know, just doing a little bit of that. So I have this. If I want to get rid of it, I can uncheck mark it from layer 2 or recheck mark it. I'm pretty sure that I can also use the transform feature, yep, to move it around now, which is very convenient. Go back over here. The most important thing is most of the time whenever we color in things, a lot of us will try to just take whatever color we're using and color it right on, and you will see it is covering up your pencil lines. Now, in order to not do that, you're going to want to go back here, and you're going to want to make a layer right underneath the layer that has your drawing. So I have a layer underneath that. I'm going to go here, and now you'll notice that the color is underneath that layer that I drew. That way, I'm able to have it separate from each other, and I'm able to keep things neat and orderly. If I want the color on top, I move that. If I want it on bottom, I can do that. And most importantly, I can uncheck both, and I still have the paper the way it is. I would get in the habit of making layers to draw with because it will make it a lot easier, especially like again, uh, if you need to move things. If everything is on the same layer, it gets to be a lot more difficult to make your picture. So I'm gonna dot that, and I'm just gonna go back and kind of just do random stuff. I'm drawing this at a weird angle. I'm like, my tablet is like not horizontal all the way, but it is not directly in front of me, and I'm like actively leaning over. So again, if I was doing that, I could already, I noticed I drew on the wrong layer. That usually happens. That is the only bad part, so I'm going to do another layer below. Maybe I'm going to make it two color eyes because it's that kind of day. That's not bad. This also helps with shading. So there's not really much to shade with right now, but let's say I was going to like color this in as a full person. I'm able to then do a bit of shading without it like blending in over the top. Even though this is a weird monster person now. Back over, go back there. So this eyedropper down this way will let you get the color that you were using before. So the second part I'm going to mention is that there are a bunch of different features in the edit function. So when you go here, it gives you a lot of different options and a lot of different things to do. So this very first one at the top, crop/extend, this lets you either get rid of part of your picture or make it larger. If I do that, it's larger. You'll notice there's the transparent dots there. If I wanted to get more of that on, I would probably go in and I would just fill it up. Or the easier way, genuinely, like we saw before, is go here, do that, do fill, and then go on our merry way. If I wanted to flip it around, so inverse it, I would click that. Now it is going the other way. Inversing it is a good way to see if things are even. I can't really, there's not too much to like tell with this because it is just a face, but that is a good way to see if things are being drawn correctly. Perspective, when you click on it, that's just like you can change like how the canvas is. That's more important if you're doing like drawings of like city stuff. Resize lets you change the different sizes of the canvas itself. So it didn't do too much actually. I need to see how to, again, the problem is on a tablet, I don't have a lot of ways to get rid of features. Okay, reset, there we go. I do know that if you press the button on your computer that says escape or ESC, that will like make the little dotted line box disappear. And that's what I usually use, but again, tablet. Rotate, self-explanatory. You can rotate it around. My name, Jeff. And transform is similar to the other one where it's transforming the layer itself. So let's go to this layer and do transform to show. When you do that, it extends the different parts. And cancel that. Brightness and contrast will change how bright something is. Now, it's also noticeable that it's only affecting the layer I currently have selected. So either you can apply these settings to everything, or if you're satisfied with how the drawing looks and you want it to be all together, you can go back here and at this top where you have the plus, the trash can, the square with the plus in it, you also have this arrow button. This arrow button here will merge your layers together. So when you merge your layers together, they become one thing. The only issue is now I can't go back and do the... I mean, I can always make a new layer, but I can't... Everything is now underneath all the stuff that I've drawn previously. So I would only merge layers whenever you feel like you are ready to. But I can go back, make sure I'm on the right layer. So I'm going to go back here and rotate that the right way so it doesn't mess me up. But that's where I said, like, you can change the brightness, the contrast. This messes with the colors in a specific way. Sure, let's do that. You can distort things. That's weird. Ooh. See, I'm also learning things while we're like messing with this. This is really cool. Like if you like to make patterns, you can just like create a drawing and then go in and like totally distort it, and it'll end up doing like a cool like pattern design thing. Hue and saturation, if you want to change the whole color or make things brighter or not as bright, you can go in and do that. Inverting it will change it to the opposite colors. So, for instance, this just changed it back to green. Tilt shift is kind of like the range of where things will be like blurred. You can make it more blurry, you can make that range of when it starts to get blurry wider or shorter. You can go here. Not too sure what alpha does, except that's evidently what it does. The triangle blur will make it even more blurry. Unsharp mask will make things a bit more crisp. There's a grid, so if you are doing a grid drawing and you are doing it digitally, you can always create a grid. What I would do is, it looks like you do that, and that will give you a similar style. This would also help if your grid was more rectangular, which I know happened with a few people. But we're gonna get rid of the grid right now. Noise kind of like makes it all staticky, kind of like that. Pattern turns your drawing into a pattern that can be like copied over and over again. Let's do that. So my name Jeff. You can also choose what part of it becomes a pattern. And then there is the vanishing point. So the vanishing point lets you have a bunch of different lines that will kind of like fill up an area. And you can do pretty cool things with them. You can choose how many lines it is, you can choose the line width. After that, it'll put it on your paper. Now, the thing that is most important is saving this. So by the time you're done, first of all, there's this blue button at the very top that lets you save, but there is also a save button here, and it lets you save it as different things, and it gives you an option of how to save. You have PNG, that's the first one, but whenever you put it down, you have PSD and you have layers PNG. PSD is what Photoshop stuff saves at, and layers PNG is, I think that just lets you save all your layers, but I think that would be not great because I don't think it would save right to the Chromebook. Anyway, so you can save it as a PNG, you do save. Yours will let you probably name it, and if not, you can still go back in and name it, but it'll download as the date of today, and it'll say Kleki PNG. So it will save your picture. Uh, if you want to open up your picture later, you can go to Import and click that. But for the most part, that is all I have for you. There are a lot of different things, and there are a lot of different things that you can do and discover. Uh, I would just have fun with it, and I would use this guide whenever you need to know how to use some of the tools. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.